The Tao of Self-Confidence, Episode 104. Welcome to the Tao of Self-Confidence, where I share stories of successful women finding their inner journey to self-confidence 5 days a week. Subscribe to our newsletter by visiting thetaoofselfconfidence.com. Well, hello friend. Welcome to the Tao of Self-Confidence, where I share stories of amazing women who have discovered their inner journey to self-confidence. I'm your host today, Sheena Yap Chan. And today I have a special lady all the way from Singapore. She is a personal trainer and a nutritional coach, and she has a story that she's going to share with us today that can help you out in your own journey of self-confidence. So without further ado, I'm going to introduce you to Cheryl Lin. Cheryl, how are you doing today? Maybe you can fill in a little bit more about yourself to the listeners.
Hi, I'm good, thank you, and I'm really pleased to be on the show. So yes, I'm from Singapore. I was born in Singapore, and then I moved to New Zealand, where I lived for 11 years, and moved back again to Singapore about 5 years ago. And I've set up a company here called Eat, Train, Love, and we've been running the company for 3 years now. And what I basically do is I work as a personal trainer and a nutritional coach, and I also run classes where we just see groups of people from all different walks of life.
Awesome. Well, thanks for sharing that. And, Cheryl, what would be your favorite self-confidence quote?
For me, it would have to be the change you want to see in this world, which is a quote by Gandhi. I think the thing with self-confidence is you really have to believe in yourself that, you can effect change in this world, or at least the world around you.
I love that, and I totally agree, right? If you really do want to see the change, you have to start with yourself. And
exactly.
When people see that change, that's when you can attract the right people into your life, because when they see that change in you, it inspires them to do the same thing. So I love that quote too. It's an oldie but a goodie.
Yeah.
So thanks for sharing that. And what would be your definition of self-confidence?
I mean, I know it sounds cheesy. Everyone says, you have to be authentic, but it is so true. You have to accept who you are. You have to know who you are, and you have to trust that, everything that's happened in your life, all your experiences, all the people that you've met, all your successes and your failures have prepared you for, the very moment that you're encountering right now. So by trusting yourself that you've got the tools and you've got the ability to survive whatever obstacle comes your way, I think that for me is self-confidence.
I love that, and thanks for sharing that, because especially too as Asian women, it's really hard for us to trust ourselves. I mean, I know I had a challenge with that all my life. I've been told to just go to school, get a job, get married, right? And
yeah.
It's if you do anything outside that line, it's who are you? You've gone nuts, right? So So I think for Asian women too, it's really hard for us to trust ourselves, but it's a process that we have to go through. I mean, I still go through it every day, learning to trust myself, learning to go through my intuition, like any other woman, right? So so I don't think it's cheesy, because really we have to learn how to be our authentic self, right? The more we can do that, the more we can inspire other women to do the same. So I really love that definition. And what was your life like before your discovery of self-confidence?
I mean, as you brought up, being Asian, my family was quite, I suppose, typical as well. All growing up, you're just told that as a girl, you need to grow up and find a good husband, get married, and then that's your life, basically. And, as every other parent, my parents wanted me to do well. And so they would kind of say, it's better to do well in an environment where you can succeed rather than going into an environment where you might be challenged and not perform as well. It's the whole thing about being a big fish in a small pond rather than being a small fish struggling in a big pond. So growing up, I always did well at school, just kind of surviving in my comfort zone. And it was only when I went to study overseas that I really discovered how you can be challenged so much more, and how it feels like to be out of your comfort zone. And when you survive that, I think that's when you realize that there's so much more out there in this world. And I think for me that's how I discovered self-confidence.
Awesome. Well, thanks for sharing that. And it's true, right? I mean, I know sometimes our parents mean well. They're just afraid of us getting disappointed at things, but sometimes we have to go on our own journey to realize that, sometimes we're going to have to go through that to make us become stronger and be the person that we have to be. So, what was that time in your life when you realized, you can just go for the things you want rather than just always doing the things that you can excel in? And what was that aha moment in your life?
I guess for me, the aha moment, well, it wasn't a particular moment, but like I said, it's all the different experiences that, you kind of get through and survive. I've never really talked about this to many people, but, I was a victim of domestic violence. And, at the time, you just kind of get through it. And when you survive it, looking back, you just realize how much you're actually capable of. And that realization now makes me so much more empowered and determined to help other women out there. And, I guess the more people that I can help, the more it empowers me, myself.
Thanks for sharing that. And, I'm glad that you brought up, your story about being a victim of domestic violence, because especially in Asian countries, not a lot of women talk about these things, right? It's really...
Yeah, absolutely.
It's usually hush-hush because you don't want to shame the family, right? I've been reading, reports in China that, there's so many women out there who are in all these domestic abuse cases, and nobody really reports them because, China doesn't want to, let these things out. And it's such a shame because there's so many women out there who are hurting. And, it's not fair, right?
Yeah. And the thing is, as a woman, the first thing you kind of question is what's wrong with me? What have I done to anger the person? Am I not good enough? You question yourself, but you don't realize that the problem is not with you. The problem is with the other person. And if you don't believe in yourself, what will happen? And this is what happened to me, is you end up being a shell of yourself because you've lost your identity. And so I think it's so important for, not just for women, but for everyone to really know who you are, accept who you are, and regardless of what situation happens to you, is to just own that situation and tell yourself that, the outcome is in your control. You determine how you come out of that situation, basically.
Yeah, I totally agree. And, after that realization that you can come out of that dark time, what's your life like now?
I'm really, really blessed that I'm in a job where I can help people. And, as the business is growing and as my influence is growing, I really want to do more to spread the message and, reach as many people as I can. Being a fitness trainer, I guess my first priority is helping people to develop a healthy relationship, not just with their health and their lifestyle, but also with their bodies. The name of my company is called Eat, Train, Love, and it's based on the mantra where you should eat well, train hard, and love yourself. And love yourself is the most important thing because, you should be eating well and being healthy because you love your body, not because you hate it. And so I think a lot of self-love kind of links together with the whole aspect of self-confidence. And in this past year as well, I've been involved with a group in Cambodia, and they're a performing arts group. So I'm a dancer as well. So this group kind of resonates with me very much. So, and they spread the message about female empowerment as well. As we all know, there's a lot of violence against women in countries like Cambodia where women are exploited and, being mistreated and abused. And their works basically help to raise awareness about how women can have a career in performing arts and women can be portrayed as strong characters. And so earlier this year, I was introduced to this group, and I've been doing some stuff to support them and fundraise for them. And I hope that, in the years to come, I'll be able to continue providing that support through the work that I do in my business. Yeah.
I love it. And, that's such an amazing opportunity you have with that dancing group. And, just to spread that message that women are strong, they can be who they want. That's always what I've wanted to do as well. Just help women out there just believe in themselves, right? Because when they can do that, sky's the limit. So
yeah, absolutely. And it's so important for us to support each other. There are people that are competitive and they try and put you down and stuff, and we have so much of that in this society already. So it's really up to us to support each other. And the more you lift other people up, the more you lift yourself up.
Totally agree. I mean, it's, I think as women, we all should just walk side by side, no one in front, no one behind, just all side by side, just, be together and be happy and be able to support each other, like you said. So thanks for sharing that. And, Cheryl, to the woman who's listening to your episode, she might be in a similar situation you're in before, and she's on her own journey to self-confidence. What'd be that one tip you would give to her?
My one tip would be to say that, hitting rock bottom isn't always a bad thing, and that can be in any aspect, whether it's in your relationship, whether it's in your career, whether it's in your fitness journey and your nutrition journey. Being in a dark place isn't always a bad thing, because when you pick yourself up and get back on your feet, that's when the magic happens. That's when life changes. That's when you realize what you're actually capable of doing, and that's when you realize the possibilities that are out there. And you'll change not just your life, but also the people around you. Like you said earlier, when you do positive things, you'll attract positive people, and other people will be inspired by your actions and your changes. So by empowering yourself, you empower others, and vice versa.
Thank you. And I believe that too. Sometimes you might have to hit rock bottom so that you can pick yourself back up, because there's no other way than to go up, right? I mean,
exactly. Yeah.
So it can be a good thing, and I like that you mentioned that, because some people see it as a bad thing. Well, few people can see, what? How can I change this situation around? So thank you so much for that tip. And if our listeners want to get to know a little bit more about what you do, or your services, or just you in general, is there any links or social media profiles we can connect with?
Yeah, well, we have a website, so it's eattrainlove.net, and that's the website where it lists who I am, what the company's about, all the classes that we run, and the services we provide. I'm also on LinkedIn. We have a Facebook page as well, which is Eat Train Love, and the Facebook link is Cheryl Lynn Personal Trainer, and I'm on Instagram as well. So yeah, very active on social media.
I love it. Awesome. Thanks for sharing that. And to our listeners, if you want to connect with Cheryl, you can also head on over to thetaoofselfconfidence.com and search for Cheryl's name. Her show notes will pop up along with everything else we talked about. And I really just want to thank Cheryl for taking the time to share her story with us. So thank you so much.
Yeah, not a problem. It's been a pleasure.
Awesome. And to our listeners, be on the lookout for another new episode of another amazing woman's journey to self-confidence, and we'll catch you later. Bye for now. Thank you for listening to another amazing episode of The Tao of Self-Confidence. Check out our resources to help you jumpstart your inner journey to self-confidence by visiting thetaoofselfconfidence.com.